All right. A very special guest with us today is our resident investor, Jeff Kadlec with Short This House. Jeff, thanks for being with us today on the panel.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell our viewers a little bit about what you do, because you actually could be that knight in shining armor coming over the hill as a lot of our homeowners here in the Valley of the Sun are seeking help and they have nowhere to turn.
Yeah, basically I call myself a mortgage professional for 20 years. But as we know, that business hasn't really panned out very well over the last 5 or 6. So about 5 years ago, 08, 09, I started to buy homes. And initially got started buying homes from the auctions, county auctions. And that turned out to be a real good way to find homes. But as I got deeper into the business, I realized there's a lot of people in trouble out there, probably caused by some of the mortgages we've created. And a lot of the deals that I'm buying today are the short sales, people that are in probate. It might be a real estate agent that has a deal that's just fallen out because the banks won't finance the deal anymore. So basically what I do is I'll come in and in the last 6 months to a year, I've been buying homes as short sales. Our short sale negotiators work with the banks. Get the price to where we can actually buy it, either turn it into a rental or resell it. A lot of these homes, especially the one that we're doing the segment today, are in horrendous condition. So I'll come in, buy cash, and close on the deal. So I don't get turned away because the financing issues, which is what I tend to pick up a lot of.
And that's one of the things that takes and really messes with the homeowners' timeline. They're stressed out enough as it is because they're waiting on the banks, and as we all know, the banks aren't as fast as they would like. We would like them to be.
Right.
And then, you know, if it chooses to go into foreclosure and they don't know about you or can't find you, they could typically lose the house. But if you stepped in between, you could actually eliminate that from happening.
Right. Yeah.
And then that particular homeowner could go on and do whatever they need to do, move on to another property or a rental or whatever, you know, is in their financial future.
Absolutely.
Especially like for real estate agents, they might be working with somebody at the last minute, then they're not able to come through, something like that. So real estate agents would work with you quite a bit.
Absolutely. You know, my network of agents out there is growing every day. I love it when they call me with the deals that they're falling out. I wish the buyers would come to me first, I mean, with the real estate agents, bring me the deals first, because sometimes we run out of time. There have been transactions that I've seen that have been waiting for the loan approval for 6 months. And when they finally call me up on month 6 and I'm able to say, okay, I'll take it, the banks now put it into foreclosure and the whole deal is lost.
Why do things like that, I mean, I'm sure that's frustrated a lot of our viewers. Why do things like that take so long? Is it because the process is that long, or is it just that they've got too much on their plate?
The banks got too much on their plate. They're understaffed and overworked. Coming from the banking industry, I saw that happen a lot. Again, what happens many times I see is the banks are trying to work with someone who is, you know, an FHA buyer. Not a bad deal, but the FHA buyer might end up falling out the last minute. I took one, this goes back about 6, 7 months ago, but I had a deal where the FHA buyer was buying the home. Everything was a clean deal. At the end of the day, the FHA buyer was using gift money to buy their home. Well, the buyer decided to get in a fight with their sister-in-law who was giving them the gift. The deal fell apart. And unfortunately, now 2 people were hurt in the end of the transaction because the buyer lost the deal and the seller ended up going into foreclosure. So it just happens. The banks do take a long time. They're getting a lot better, though.
Well,
they've got their systems in place now.
That is another prime example of where family and finances just do not go well together.
Well, and then also the Short This House, is it .com? ShortThisHouse.com. Because isn't it also, I mean, now you're almost getting ready to go into foreclosure, and it really is true that you'd rather short sell from the sense of if you do foreclose, then it's much longer to rebuild your own credit. So you want to short sell. Yeah,
I never give advice on what's better for the person. That's something where they need to talk to their financial advisor or their family attorney.
Sure.
It depends on every situation is unique. You can't say that a foreclosure is better, one's better than the other, because there's a lot of deficiency clauses involved that could hurt somebody. But yes, if somebody could short sale, the banks are more open to short sales today than they were 2 years ago. They have their systems and infrastructure in place than they were 2 years ago. So absolutely, if you could save your credit from being damaged, Fannie and Freddie will not lend to you for 3 to 4 years.
Sure.
A foreclosure stays on your record for many years, and it's really hard to get new financing. So yes, it all depends on each situation. I can't say one's better than the other, to be honest.
That's right.
There really isn't one.
There's so much more that you need to take into account with your particular situation. So how can our viewers contact you, and how could you help them?
No, basically, I always pick up the phone. They can always call me on my cell phone, 480-241-4663, or I better remember it's 241-HOME. Or they can go to my website, shortthishouse.com, and fill in the information, and we'll contact them within 24 hours.
Thanks, Jeff, for being with us today and sharing all that great information. And for all our viewers, make sure you follow along and see the transformation that we're going to be doing with Jeff's home, a home that you might be interested in buying and be proud to own. On our website, imagehomeimprovement.show.com, you can always find all the great information that you need to take care of your home.
That was some great information, and now we've got a tip just for you from Image Home Improvement.